Hello everyone, my name's Lizzie Humble. I'm here with Atlas Endoscopy and I'm here with Bruno and Millie. This is going to be a slightly different kind of presentation as I don't have slides, so I'd like you all to kind of see a demonstration of the product as it's the easiest way to explain what it does. If you want to come forward from the back, you can. If you don't want to, that's also fine. But everything is basically going to be on this screen, and I'm just going to talk you through it, so feel free to come forward if you want to. So at Atlas Endoscopy, we have a product which addresses colonoscopy. Colonoscopy, just to give a very brief overview, is the main diagnostic and therapeutic procedure used to identify colorectal cancer and also used for IBD screening. The current, sorry, do you want me to bring it over? Okay. Millie needs to be able to see the screen, and you also need to see the screen, so sorry about this. So the current clinical procedure uses a colonoscope, which is, I'm going to try and now hold it while also holding a microphone, which is going to be interesting. It's like a snake, honestly. So in the left hand of the endoscopist, they have this horrible controller, no offense to anyone who is great at using it, but I've tried and it's really hard. And you have these two knobs which change the direction of the tip. So I have this, and then this. And as you can see, I'm struggling. I realize I'm probably not great at it, but it's really difficult in training, also for people with smaller hands, particularly females. So you can imagine if you're doing maybe 8 or 10 of these a day, you're going to get really tired. And beyond that, you also have to feed this into the patient's rear, and you're kind of twisting. Thank you. Twisting, applying torsion, and applying force to progress it through into the colon. The tube is quite stiff, so as you can see, it's not particularly flexible. And what that does is it stretches the colon, especially as it passes through the many loops and bends of the colon. And that's actually what causes the patient a lot of pain. And that's something that we address with our system that I'll cover in a minute. So you've got the ergonomics, you've got the training curve, so it takes a lot of procedures for someone to be proficient at using this technology. Maybe 250 or more colonoscopies that an endoscopist in training will do before they're kind of okay to do it on their own without supervision. So that's 250 procedures on real patients. So think about the standard of care that those patients are receiving during that time. And the final thing about the current technology is that it's a reusable device, so it needs to go through reprocessing. That means it needs to go through the reprocessing unit, usually based in a large medical center, or it needs to be taken off to a specific reprocessing unit. That then means that people need to travel to those big cities, those big medical centers to get their colonoscopy. And we would like to reduce that barrier and maybe have something which could be done in ambulatory care setting, or maybe you can get your colonoscopy at your GP center or a mobile unit. And therefore, not just in the UK, but in the US, that will have great impact on the capacity and the number of colonoscopies that people can have. So just to explain what we have here, so on the screen, you can see a view of the camera at the end of our endoscope tip. So our system has an endoscope, which Millie will could you pull it out for me? Thank you. So it's different to the one I just showed you because it has a very flexible tube. She can bend it, I can really bend it like this, which is very different, and it's much more flexible. And at the end, we have a tip which has the same capabilities as the colonoscope I showed you. It has a light source, it has a camera, and also has a tool channel to allow for biopsies and polyp resection. So what this overcomes is that stretching and distension of the colon that occurs from the very stiff tube of the standard colonoscope. And the other thing about our system that makes it different from current practice is that we have a magnet inside the tip of the endoscope. A permanent magnet inside the tip of the endoscope and a very large permanent magnet inside the end of this robot. And what that does is it pulls the endoscope from the tip through the colon rather than being pushed from the outside. And that's what really supports our claim that we can provide painless colonoscopy. We have conducted a first-in-human trial on 5 patients, and all 5 patients did not report any severe pain or discomfort. And that's a huge win for us, as it, really supports our main claim of painless colonoscopy. The impact of that people won't be so scared to go for their colonoscopies. They, if they have IBD and they need regular screening, they can actually go to those procedures before the symptoms get so bad. The other things that we addressed with our system, so in terms of the ergonomics and that learning curve, in Millie's left hand, she doesn't have a horribly difficult controller. She has a Wii remote, which lots of people are familiar with. It's not tiring on the hand to hold or to use. And all she needs to do is she'll look at her endoscopic view on the camera, and she can see a lumen. I appreciate this is a simplified view, and maybe, but for demonstration purposes, she can see a lumen. At the moment, she's kind of facing the wall, and what she wants to do is angle the camera so that she can see the center of the lumen. And to do that, she just uses the joystick on her controller to look up. It's currently stuck in a fold. There we go. And once she's happy with her orientation of the tip, she can press the advance button, which is just one of the buttons on the controller, and the end effector on the robot will orientate in a way that will pull the endoscope tip in the direction that the camera is facing. Millie doesn't really mind whether the endoscope tip has twisted around and which way is up and which way is down in real life. All she looks at is this screen, and it's not distracting for her in any way to have to be processing that information. She just needs to think, oh, my lumen's up there, I press the up button, and then I advance. And she says she's not a colonoscopist for those at the back. And finally, our endoscope portion of the device is single use. So this removes the need for reprocessing and means that we can address that capacity difficulty that's happening across the globe. And we have this vision. I mean, I have this vision from when I was interviewed for this role, and I think the company shares it, that if we can remove the barriers of colonoscopy and offer it in a more local setting, pain-free, remove the stigma, we can really improve a lot of patients' lives. We wouldn't be here today where we are without the support of the surgical mix. So maybe before my time of joining the company, but I know that there is a lot of work with patient surveys and networking. So thank you for that, and also for inviting us here today. That was a really fast, whiz through. So please, we have a website, we have LinkedIn. Please come and talk to us afterwards. And did I forget anything? Thank you.